Welcome back to Muffed. Draft weekend's over. Let's go pick by pick. This is the Jets 2026 draft recap. Muffed. Welcome back to Muffed. Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn walked out of the 2026 draft with 8 players in a clear identity, trenches, and pass game firepower. 3 first-rounders once you count the trade-up math, 2 of the top 30 picks in a haul that splits clean down the middle, 3 pass defense pieces, 3 offensive skill weapons, including a quarterback, a guard, and a defensive tackle. Glenn said it at the podium, mass kicks ass. The tape backs him up. Start with pass defense because the Jets had no choice. This unit allowed plus 137 expected points added through the air in 2025 and generated just 26 sacks across 17 games. Enter David Bailey at number 2 overall, the Texas Tech edge who led the entire country in sacks with 14.5 and finished second nationally in tackles for loss at 19.5. His relative athletic score, the 0 to 10 grade comparing combine and pro day testing to every player at his position since 1987, came in at 9.65, top 3% of edge rushers ever measured. Smash the combine, smash the tape. At pick 50, they grabbed D'Angelo Pons, the Indiana corner who led the Big Ten with 10 pass breakups and tested at 9.15, top decile. And in the 7th, a dart throw, VJ Payne, the Kansas State safety with a 9.74 relative athletic score, top 2% of strong safeties ever tested. The passing offense got the other big swing, 2 bites inside round 1. A Jets passing attack that posted minus 100 expected points added in 2025 just added 2 top-tier college producers with elite athletic profiles. At pick 16, Kenyon Sadiq, the Oregon tight end, 51 catches, 560 yards, 8 touchdowns, 7th in the Big Ten in scores, and a per-play predicted points added of plus 0.53, elite efficiency at the position. His relative athletic score, 9.62. Top 4% of tight ends ever tested. At pick 30, Omar Cooper Jr., the Indiana receiver who finished 2nd in the Big Ten with 13 receiving touchdowns and 4th with 961 yards on 70 catches. His per-play predicted points added of plus 0.73 is a number you almost never see from a college wideout, and his 9.15 relative athletic score puts him in the top decile. Then in round 4 at pick 110, Cade Klubnik, the Clemson quarterback. Glenn was honest, Klubnik played hurt, the team struggled, but he's a 3-year starter who threw for 2,943 yards with 16 touchdowns and 6 picks, ran for 4 more, and tested at 7.82. Geno Smith is the starter. Klubnik develops behind him. The offensive line surrendered 60 sacks in 2025 and got exactly 1 pick in return, 6th round, 188, Inez Cooper, the Miami guard. Glenn called him a developmental big body who fits the mass kicks ass identity. A starting point, not a solution. Run defense is the same story. The 2025 Jets gave up 2,396 yards on the ground and 20 rushing touchdowns. And the answer was 1 4th-round pick at 103, Darrell Jackson Jr., the Florida State defensive tackle. 44 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, half a sack. The production is modest. This is a body and traits bet, and Glenn admitted as much. Jackson learns from the vets. Pick of the draft isn't close. You can argue Sadiq at 16. You can argue Cooper Jr. at 30. But David Bailey at number 2 is the pick that defines this class. Positional value at edge dwarfs, tight end, and outside receiver in any front office calculus. The Jets generated almost no pass rush in 2025, and Bailey isn't just a high pick, he led the country in sacks and tested in the top 3% athletically. You don't usually get both. That's the bet you build a defense around. The biggest 2026 question is whether this front 7 actually turns over. The Jets are betting Bailey fixes a pass rush that delivered just 58 quarterback hits all of last year, and that Pons can hold up on an island in a secondary that bled big plays. The skill position investment around Geno Smith is real. Sadiq and Cooper Jr. are 2 new first-round weapons, but the offensive line got 1 day 3 pick after surrendering 60 sacks, and Muji hinted Breece Hall's contract is still open business, loud where it needed to be loudest. Quieter where the roster still has questions. Muffed! That's the Jets 2026 draft class. 2 things before you go. 1, if you want a weekly recap for the Jets when the season kicks off, subscribe to the Jets feed wherever you're listening. 2, if you want the same treatment for your fantasy roster every week, head to muff.ai and we'll build you a custom weekly show. That's the wrap.